Hello everyone, John 12 back here again with another video. Now today, once again, I have another top 5 for you guys. Previously, in my last top 5, I gave you my personal favorite and best of the Marvel heroes. Obviously, there's been a long history in Marvel Comics, and um, obviously there's plenty of great characters, but once again, to define a great hero, you must look at its villain, and obviously Marvel, just like DC, has great villains. And today, I'm going to start giving you my personal top 5 favorite villains. Once again, like my previous videos, like the DC villains, I will only be picking villains from a specific rogues gallery, only one villain per rogues gallery, because then again, just like DC, I would just sit there and just pick out multiple characters from like one dude, so no. I'm just gonna try and cherry pick each one. Obviously, that's kind of hard, seeing as how there's tons and tons of great villains, and there's tons of great villains that I completely forget and completely unacknowledged. Anyways, moving off of that, let's just get right down to it. Once again, I'm sorry. This is very subjective. It's my personal thoughts. Also, I'm trying to hurry this up, so I don't want to completely delay everything, but enough of my rambling. Let's get right down to it, to my number 5, which has to go to the Mandarin. Mandarin is Iron Man's greatest foe. He's one of the many great villains in Iron Man's rogues gallery. Of course, there's plenty. You have Whiplash and various characters like that that are surrounded through and based around technology, but Mandarin is the only character that's based around, like, he's kind of like Doctor Strange in a sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of, there. It's just put out there. Honest, the Mandarin is just one of those characters that's just really, really cool. Like, we've yet to see a really great representation of him yet, but I think in following years, hopefully one day we'll get our defining Mandarin. And I don't know, I just personally like, he's just a really cool, badass character. But let's move off of that and go right into my number 4, which has to go down to Red Skull. Yes, Captain America may be my ultimate and favorite of Marvel's superheroes, but his villains aren't really as amazing as Captain America himself. Like, other than Red Skull. Red Skull is a badass, but he's a Nazi. You know, I mean, like, of course he's the member the founding member of Hydra, which is essentially the Nazi organization, basically, just his specific version of the Nazi party. But then again, Red Skull is just a really cool character. You know, he's missing a face. He has this just red, fleshy, meat-toned skull face, and it's just crazy. He has a weird backstory, and he's just a really weird, fucked up looking character to be facing off a hero like Captain America. It's just really strange combination, but it just works out perfectly. And of course, Hydra is basically the Nazi party, except a lot different. And of course, apparently in today's world, they control S.H.I.E.L.D. How did that happen? I don't know. Does it make sense? No. Should they have destroyed S.H.I.E.L.D. in the movies? Yes. I'm just saying. I know that has nothing to do with this, but I'm just putting it out there. Should have stopped S.H.I.E.L.D. in Winter Soldier. Moving off of that, Red Skull is just a badass character. He's just really, really cool. There's not really anything else you can really put it out there to state. And Red Skull is just one of those guys, just like many other villains in Marvel's line, that are just dedicated to the destruction of one person. Of course, they have worldwide, demands. You know, like you have your other characters that just want the world for themselves. But Red Skull is obviously just his dedication to destroying Cap is just fucking undeniable. But let's move off of that and go right down to number 3, which has to go to one of my personal favorite Spider-Man villains of all time. And no, it's not Venom. It has to go to the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin is the Joker of Marvel. I mean, come on. There's no denying that. I mean, the Joker is the ultimate supervillain in comic book history. And if there ever was going to come a close second, that comes close to Joker psychopathic craziness, it has to be the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin, Harry Osborn, or Norman Osborn, whichever version you like or prefer, I prefer the Norman Osborn version, but it's kind of fucked up either way. I mean, come on. He's just crazy, crazy character. He's this billionaire who just like goes under this scientific experiment on himself, and it just explodes with just just mutates his brain, just turns into the Green Goblin, and flies around in this jet-like thing, wearing like a weird Halloween costume, and just throws exploding pumpkins at Spider-Man. That's a cool visual. I have to put it out there. It's really cool. Once again, like various other Marvel villains, we've yet to see the Green Goblin in his full entirety and the way he should be represented in the Spider-Man movies. I mean, maybe in the future. I mean, like, I've yet to see Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I don't know. But so far, the Green Goblin just takes it for the top 3 spot. It's just an awesome, cool character. He's done so much damage to New York, and so much damage not only emotionally but physically to Spider-Man. He was the one who killed Gwen Stacy, which is a storyline I personally want to see adapted. I'm just putting it out there. And also, he's just a fucked up dad too. I mean, look what he did to Harry. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, Harry and Peter's relationship and friendship went down the shitter just because of his father, and it's just really crazy. He's just a really fucked up dude, and the Green Goblin persona is just epic and cool and psychotic, and I personally have yet to see him represented the way he should be. And just the Green Goblin is just cool. I mean, of course, there's various other Spider-Man villains that are just awesome. I mean, Spider-Man is kind of like the Batman of Marvel. I mean, he has the best villains. I mean, like, obviously, there's great characters and great villains all around, but Spider-Man has the best ones. But Green Goblin really takes it for me as my top 3 of all Marvel villains all around. But let's move off of that and go to number 2, which has to go to the X-Men villain, Magneto. Magneto is badass. It's just, there's no point in pointing fingers as to who's the greater villain in the X-Men universe other than Magneto. He's the mastermind between everything. And he is dedicated to not only the destruction and extinction of the human race, but also the rise and the influence on the world through the X-Men genes, the X Factor, the mutants. I don't know. He's just a cool and plus he has the coolest costume in the X-Men villains. I mean, obviously you have your Mystiques, which are no comment there, and you have other various cool villains. You have the Phoenix and whatnot. So you have your really big dogs, you know, the big old mutants with the crazy powers and whatnot. But Magneto's just cool in that helmet. Jesus Christ, man, I just love that shit. It's just, his power is just so cool. I just love Magneto's power. I mean, like, there's hundreds and thousands of mutants in the X-Men series, and they all have epic cool powers. You have your Beasts, you have your Cyclops, you have your Angels, you have your fucking Wolverines, motherfucker. But God, Magneto's power, mutant gene, is just so cool. He just has the power of all metals, and it's just, he's just so cool. And plus, because of his helmet, he deflects all his telepathic powers from Charles Xavier, which means that he can't touch him. Which is also cool because no other mutant can do that. I mean, what other mutant can have a helmet that makes no sense, but somehow Charles Xavier, one of the greatest mutants of all time, is unable to track him down and beat him through mind power. And just amazing in and of itself. Magneto is just really cool, and I think he's been adapted in film, in the Marvel films, just amazingly. I just love the newer version of Magneto, but like every version of Magneto is just really badass. He's just really cool. I just love his design and his power. And his relationship with Charles Xavier is just awesome. I just love that, you know, that brother relationship that turns sour and just goes crazy, and they're mortal enemies, but they still have that rivalry and friendship where they kind of respect each other, but they want their own, like, desire and freedom to happen. You know, Charles Xavier obviously wants to teach the mutants, you know, and wants to coexist with normal humans. And obviously Magneto just wants to wipe them out, and mutants should be the dominant species on our planet. So their relationship is just badass. But before I get into my number one, I have to give you some honorable mentions. Like I said before, DC has great villains, but Marvel also has really epic villains just the same. And obviously, you have your X-Men villains that I stated. You have your Spider-Man villains. You know, you have Venom and shit, Carnage. Fuck. You have the fucking Mysterio, Chameleon, Black Cat. You fucking got your vultures. You know, you have your abominations. You know, your Red Skulls. It's just epic, just epicness with all the characters you can just name off the top of your head of like great villains. You know, and plus you have your anti-heroes. You know, kind of like Ghost Riders and your Punishers. You have your anti-heroes, and they're just full of like really crazy people who just ironically transform into really fucked up dudes who do really fucked up things. So, but let's move off of that and go to my number one, which has to go to Galactus, the destroyer of worlds. Galactus is my favorite fucking villain of Marvel anything. I mean, of course you have your Thanos, you have your, you know, your villains that have great power and rule over all, but Galactus is just cooler. He's just a badass. His design is just even cool. That big ass like body he has is badass. He's the ultimate Fantastic Four villain. I mean, I love Doctor Doom and all, but fuck him. Galactus is the shit. Silver Surfer, he dominates Silver Surfer, and Silver Surfer is a badass dude. He's just cool looking. I think he's yet to get his dues in the movie adaptation world. Like, obviously, Avengers is blown up. You have your Ultrons and whatnot. You have your Thanos. You have this ultra-dimensional being, thanks to Loki, his bitch ass. You know, you know, and you have like this realm that's gonna dominate the entire universe unless the Avengers do something next time on the Avengers. But of course, no one beats Galactus. Galactus is just a badass. Of course, he just eats planets. A dude. This is how ultra unrealistic Marvel was back in the day when they come up with designing characters back in the comic book days. They created a dude who's as big as space and who grabs planets like if they're fucking oranges and just eats them. What the fuck? And he controls the Silver Surfer, this little silver dude who's on a fucking surfboard and does things. And the Fantastic Four have to save. That's fucking crazy. Just think of that when you're a kid and you're just eating shit tons of cereal and you're reading that in a comic book or looking up on the fucking old ass cartoons, the old Marvel animated series that they were doing. That's fucking crazy. You know, I just had to put it out there. But Galactus, like, of course, there's way more powerful, maybe even way more powerful villains that they create, like, post Galactus. But Galactus just is my personal favorite. He's just cool. He's just a really badass. So, of course, I don't know if he would ever work design-wise the way he does in the comics to the movie world, but I would just love to see that. That visual would just be way too much for me. I would just love it so much. And like seeing as how Fantastic Four has been rebooted and they're gonna start planning to do another movie adaptation, I really hope if they end up doing Galactus, which I hope they do because to tell you the truth, I'm kind of sick of Doctor Doom's bitch ass. I really hope that they do Galactus' dues. They just have to give him his dues. I just really hope they do that. But I really have to end it here. That's my personal top 5, guys, Marvel. I told you, even though I'm a DC guy, I do love Marvel, and Marvel does have great characters and great villains. And just great storylines. But Galactus just takes my number one spot. I mean, there's various other characters. I'm pretty sure people were pissed off. They were like, why not fucking Ultron? The new movie. You know, why not Venom? He's cool. I give it to Galactus. He's just cooler and more badass. But that's been my top 5 personal best / favorite Marvel villains. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you check out my previous top 5 for more comic book related stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, this is very subjective. It's my personal thoughts. But what do you guys think? What is your top 5 Marvel villains? And if you didn't hear them out in my personal top 5, then put them out in the comment section. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and this has been my top 5. And this has been John 12, so see you later.